Welcome everyone to the Feminine Fridays with Laura Rubinstein and Diane Halfman. Hi, Diane.
Hi, Laura. Good to be here with everyone on another beautiful weekend.
I know it is. We're getting used to the new paradigm and settling in, but as always, we are here for you to get a dose of the feminine, a new perspective, a settling into some sanity for yourself. And I love it because that's what it does for me too. So thank you for being here. And if you're watching the replay, feel free to watch any of the replays. We have a whole slew of them at Feminine Power Cards on Facebook, also on YouTube. So welcome. And as you know, or if you don't know, well, I pick a card from the deck of Feminine Power Cards here that are at femininepowercards.com. And we talk about them because they're more than what they seem at face value. And if you watched any of our other shows, Diane, we go pretty deep.
Yeah, we do. Lots of fun.
We take them in interesting directions. That's what I love about our interaction. So today's card, drum roll please, is take the path of least cruelty. Take the path of
Oh,
least
wow.
cruelty. Yeah.
There's so many ways you can go with that one.
Yeah. So here's, so the pink side is the principle, the blue side is the practice. There's normally either a something to do, a contemplation or an affirmation, symbolized by the symbol on the bottom. Heart means it's a contemplation, and star means it's an action. And by the way, this is both. So what is that practice? These are like coaching cards, right? So when to take the path of least cruelty, which is our principle, the practice is one of them, a suggested one. When making a decision that you feel might hurt someone, pause and set an intention to bring light to the situation, then make your choice.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's a lot of ways, like you said, we could go with this one. Was there something that came to mind for you?
Well, I'm just looking at, right now, ways of being is so important, especially since a lot of times people aren't in person as often anymore. And so there's a lot of either texting or phone, and in a lot of cases, Zoom. But when you don't have that in person, you may not necessarily see your impact that you're having on someone. And so we're having to almost look from a different dimension of what our impact is for other people and what that looks like. And there's also a lot of hot topic, politics around, do we stay in, do we go out, what's it look like? There's a lot of different opinions and thoughts around that. And I think as long as we hold the space that, everyone has a right to their opinion, but then also to, this is a time also to be sovereign and to stand in your own freedom and power of what's true for you, and to let people express, but don't make people wrong for their opinion or where they're standing from. And I think that there is a healthy way to talk about what the truths are for people, and to not do it in a cruel way.
Right. And this comes down to anything. A lot of times what we're feeling is scared or hurt, and it comes out as not kind. It doesn't come out as what's really going on in the present moment. And so it's a time to reflect. We have time to reflect now before you respond, because we are less we know we're in this situation, right? It's kind of, we actually have an excuse to do that. So I'd say take advantage of the time, the new paradigm, to do what you said, to be more kind, to stand in your yourself, in your truth, in your awareness of what's really present to you in the moment. Not what's going on here, not what you're seeing out there, but what is the world you're creating from the inside out, right? And there's a hashtag out there called COVID kindness right now. And that's a great place to start. If you can't get to kindness in your own being, go search that term. Get back to the fact that people care about each other and they're helping each other. And that's what we can be as a source for each other, is a source of safety and kindness. And that happens when we really become conscious of our intentions. So what is my intention here? When if you ask yourself that question before you respond to anything, and you answer with, well, I want to be kind and I want to say this, how do I do this? Or I need to make a decision. The decision is the kind thing for me and for them. It's not an either or. What is the kind thing for both, right? Then we're going to have a more conscious, awakened world. If we focus on um, the truth of the integrity of our emotions and taking care of each other.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. No, I love that because, you know, there's different outlooks, and if we only look at what the impact is for ourselves and not what the impact is for others, then that stops communication. And we want to look at how can, you know, communication is a two-way street, and to look at what's the impact and what is the whole purpose behind what we're talking about. Then that also you know, can be helpful. And even if we can start the conversation with like, I don't know how this is going to land for you, or I don't know where you are at, or I don't know how life has shifted for you. How are things? You know, some people are just loving having some more quiet time. And I've talked to some of my clients who are like, I'm getting more done than ever because I have less distraction. And then there's other people who have like a lot of kids in their home and they are feeling frazzled. And so people have a lot of different, you know, experiences that are happening right now. And so to really come from that place of empathy and compassion, and seeing like really seeing what people's environments are and where they're at, and seeing how you know, we as friends and leaders and people part of a community, how we can see how our impact can really be something that supports people.
Yeah. And the intention behind it is the whole thing. You can say some things. I don't know how this is going to land for you, but if you don't have an intention of kindness, it could still come out pretty harsh.
Right.
So I love starting that way as a way to set yourself into I really want to be kind and I really want to have, like you said, compassion for the other person. They may be going through something they've never experienced before and are not really dealing with it or don't know how to deal with it. They may be in fear. They may be in scarcity. They may be in uh, just some place, a bad neighborhood in their head, as I like to say, you know.
Mhm.
And if we can have compassion, it doesn't mean you need to subject yourself to any other's cruelty. But in fact, that's a way to be kind, is to say, I need to remove myself from that. So remember, if it's a decision that's tough to make, how can you be kind in the process? Be graceful and make this world a kinder place for you. I mean, this is real power. Choosing kindness with an intention, as an intention to shift our whole world. I mean, it starts with individuals, right?
Absolutely. Well, and it's also a good time to notice, are you reacting to things? Because it feels like things are shifting, you know, every 24 hours, there's different perspectives and things that are happening. And if you notice that you're feeling anxious or you're reacting, this is where you have an opportunity to take a deep breath, to really start going, where am I with this? And be thoughtful to look at how are you actually going to respond to
Mm,
something. I mean, this is something that I'm actually exploring, you know, and putting together actually a course to help people to respond better and to not be in that reaction mode. This is some of the things I had to deal with, you know, as a police officer on the street. I mean, if I reacted to everything that was presented in front of me, not only could, you know, myself and others be hurt, but you know, you really have to look a couple steps ahead to see how can you respond better to things that are happening. So start noticing, where are you reacting and where do you have an opportunity to respond better.
mm. Really good food for thought. We'd love to hear your experiences with responding with kindness, intentionally doing things that take the path of least cruelty. There's choice, there's always choice in the matter. And that's where our power lies, when we make those conscious choices and today's topic is kindness. So how are you choosing kindness? What will be your kind, conscious thought? How can you be kinder today to somebody? What does kindness look like today? And again, we have that hashtag that's been going around, COVID kindness. But it happens in the day to day. And if you find yourself reacting, Diane, I love the idea that we have to be responding. We have to think ahead and or take a step back, take those breaths you mentioned, to calm ourselves. I was on a live stream yesterday where a woman talked to us about taking a breath in, holding it for 2 seconds, taking a breath out, holding for 2 seconds. People have 4-4-4 breathing, 4-7-8. I don't care what it is. You do some conscious breathing, it's gonna do exactly what you said.
Yeah.
So, anything else you want to leave our viewers with today?
Ah, just, as I mean, I don't know where you guys are all at. We're in here in San Diego, and it feels like it's becoming more like spring. And just make sure that, as much as people are saying, stay inside, get outside enough to walk, to at least breathe in some fresh air, to have a different perspective. I think sometimes when you're in your home 24/7, it can feel very stifling, and you can also feel very isolated. You can have some physical distancing without having distance from nature, and from actually you can smile to people when you see them, right? So just check yourself and see where you're at, for really creating things that actually are helping you have a fresh perspective, and that you're at choice with your health, and to really do the things that are helping you build your immunity, build your sanity, and have some serenity. Look at the things that you have power over to create in your own life.
Mm. And we do. We have plenty, and one of them is kindness. So be kind, enjoy the beauty in nature that's around us, the seasons that are coming into full bloom now of spring. It's so beautiful. And we're going to be back with you again next week with another episode of our Feminine Fridays.
Be safe out there, everyone. Love you.